Okay. Let's get this tutorial started. My name is WildlyNikana69, and I've been working with the developer Total of Combo Randomizer, revising the logic for both difficulties of the Combo Randomizer, and I'm going to go through a tutorial right now going over those logic changes, as well as the various tricks that you need to know for each difficulty, relevant to each one, and the new things that are being implemented that are different from how the logic affects what your knowledge base needs to be for the difficulties now. And we're gonna go ahead and start with casual. So it should be renamed as normal mode, and so this is going to be, obviously we can't control for what tournament organizers are going to use, but normal mode is going to be the intended mode for tournaments. So for any sort of like competitive play for Combo Randomizer, normal mode is going to be what's going to, the aim is for that to be the standard. And so that's the currently named casual mode. And so the purpose of this is for accessibility, for new players to just be able to jump right into combo, new players to, A Link to the Past or to Super Metroid, just jump right into Combo Randomizer, minimal skill set, minimal knowledge base, just able to actually play through and complete it with a reasonable amount of time, and not needing to put in extra practice into other, to learning things or trying to figure things out that aren't intuitives or speed tricks, for lack of a better term. This also matches the A Link to the Past tourney difficulty for Super Metroid specifically, this normal mode. So in A Link to the Past, there are no glitches ever required. Often in races you do see them employed, like, the fake flippers glitch, for example, but that's never required by the logic for you to do that. That's just one example. So we have now, with the logic here in normal mode, matched that same philosophy of gameplay and trick requirement for Super Metroid. So the same things apply. And so our definition of normal mode for Super Metroid has been defined as any tricks that you'll need to know are tricks that are taught or shown by the game itself. So this includes things like mid-air morphing, Shinesparks, infinite bomb jumping, and wall jumps. And these are what you need to know, and some of these are applied in creative ways in the logic that might make you need to think a little bit out of the box in how you apply them. But I'm going to be going over quite a bit of those. This is not an exhaustive list. It's a pretty comprehensive list, but there might be some things that I might have forgotten in some niche circumstances. But I'm just going to go ahead and start off by just demonstrating each of those tricks to you, and just a quick explanation of how they're done. So I'm just playing on a practice hack right now. This is not an actual randomizer. This is so I can move around the game very quickly. So let's go ahead and just start with infinite bomb jumping. So for infinite bomb jumping, all you need to have is going to be morph and bombs. That's all you need for infinite bomb jumping. So you essentially just start from... Actually, you know what I want to do? To make this a little bit easier to see here, I think actually it wasn't the event I wanted. No, it's not what I wanted. It might be what I wanted, actually. Get rid of that rain so it's a little bit easier to see things. There we go. Okay, so let's just go right here. So in order to infinite bomb jump, there are a couple of good visual cues. I'm a big proponent of visual cues. So what I like to do is you basically want to lay your bomb right as the bottom of Samus's morph sprite touches the top of the bomb sprite. So you would lay your first bomb, and then the timing for the first one is a little bit tricky because you're not falling. So basically right as it's about to explode, the first one, you'll see the bomb, it flashes slowly, and then it speeds up really quickly right before it explodes. So that's about when you want to lay the next bomb. Is right when it starts to flash like that. And that's a fine visual cue too, if that's what you want to use, if you want to stare at the bombs right as they about to flash really quickly like that. That's totally fine. Or you can do what I do, and I like to, it's a little more consistent for me, is whenever the bottom of Samus's morph sprite touches the top of the bomb sprite, you can lay another bomb. And that is actually laying bombs much higher, and you're actually going to get more height. As you see, like if you wait until the bomb is about to explode. You can see my bombs are much closer together and I'm climbing much more slowly. But if I start, you can see the bombs are like not even touching each other now, and I'm gaining a lot more height much more quickly. So that's how you do infinite bomb jumping, and so that you can climb any vertical height infinitely like this. So, and another way, if you're, you know, wanting to go, if you're a little bit ambitious and you want to go a little bit faster, you can start this from a mid-air morph, which is our next trick. So, mid-air morphing is just jumping and morphing while you're in the air. You know, this can be done while you're moving, and, you know, maintain a little bit of speed with that, or you can just jump and morph while you're in mid-air. And this can be used to get into tunnels that are above you, that you could also just bomb jump into, or you can, you might need to do this to jump and lay a bomb on a ceiling block to blow that, to blow the block up. So if you want, you can start a bomb jump mid-air. So essentially the way you do this is you just combine the two, you jump and you morph and you just lay a bomb, and this one just takes a little bit of timing. You just got to get used to the timing of when you lay the bomb. But you can see it starts you way off the ground and saves a bunch of time. There's not really any easy way I can give any sort of explanation for when you time it. Basically, without high jump, as soon as you finish morphing is when you just morph comfortably. You don't have to mash like down really fast to get into morph. It's just a comfortable pace. See, that was even too soon. So you can practice with visual cues, even like this part of this cloud, the bottom of this white cloud here would work, and that'll save you some time there. Okay, so wall jumps. Wall jumping is an 8-frame window. You need to press away from a wall in a spin jump animation, and then you have 8 frames to press the to release jump, and then press jump again if you are already holding jump. So basically, what's a better place for this? And so this is going to be used to, you know, in pretty much anywhere in the game, you know, just to go quickly, but also to acquire some items that you might not otherwise be able to reach. Okay, so we've got a wall right here. You spin, and when you can see right there, that is the animation of Samus, you know, pressing away from the wall. And that's you have 8 frames of this while Samus is going away from the wall for you to press jump again. And so that's all you do. While you're pressing away, you then press jump. So you can see that animation appear every time I do that. I'm exaggerating a little bit for you. You can do it very quickly, or you can be a little more deliberate about it, which I would recommend when you're first learning the wall jump. It can be done on any wall, any surface. You can even do it on these little things, you know, if you really were so inclined. But that's how wall jumps are done. Just press away from the wall and then jump. That's the main hiccup that I notice a lot of newer players struggle with. Is not a simultaneous button press. You need to press away and then jump. So one thing that can be done with these is, I will also demonstrate this later on too, is a delayed wall jump. So like I said, you have, you know, about 8 frames to do that wall jump. As you can see, during those 8 frames, you're getting farther away from the wall. It's a little bit difficult to see here, but you're getting farther away from the wall during that time. And so that can actually, you can use that time to get away from the wall to increase your distance away from the wall to get around things. So if you're trying to wall jump, and this is a really poor example, I have a better one in mind for later, but if you're trying to get around this, you're like, oh, it's not working. You know, you can delay your wall jump a little bit, get away from the wall to get yourself around, give yourself more horizontal distance to get around a horizontal platform. Okay, so that's, oh, we also have we have Shinesparks, excuse me. So Shinesparks are a really cool thing that you can use to, you know, travel really, really quickly at the expense of energy, of course. So what you need for this is speed booster only. So with Speed Booster, you basically, all you do, you just hold your run button, whatever your run button is, it's B by default, and you just turn into this blue, awesome Samus. You can just run right through bomb blocks and stuff. You can destroy bomb blocks with this as well. So once you turn blue, after you're holding run, you can see the input display up at the top right there, so you can also watch the inputs as I do this. When you turn blue, you just press down, and you start flashing white like this. And this means you've stored a Shinespark. So from here, you can activate your Shinespark by pressing jump, and then pressing a direction that you want to jump in. Now you can Shinespark it. Now you can only Shinespark vertically or in the direction that you're facing. So if you're facing left and you want to Shinespark to the right, you can't do that. You'd need to be facing right first and then activate your Shinespark. Right? So let's go ahead and let's try that. So I want to just Shinespark straight up. I can just press jump and then it will activate automatically. I don't even have to press a direction. If I wanted to activate it right away, you saw there was a little bit of a stall there. If I wanted to activate it right away, I can press jump while holding up, and then it will just activate right away. Now, in order to do the horizontal sparks, you need to be pressing an input. So let's say I want to Shinespark to the left. Okay, so I'm going to charge my spark, I'm going to press jump, and hold it, and then I'm going to press left right afterwards. Charge, press jump, hold, and then press left. Right? So we're going to go to the right now. Same exact thing. Press jump, hold, press right. And there we go. So that's Shinesparking. And so that can be used to, like I said, it can destroy bomb blocks. It can destroy speed booster blocks, which are speed booster specific. Bomb blocks can be destroyed by, other things like screw attack or bombs or power bombs, etc. Okay. So I mentioned that these can be used in creative ways that aren't necessarily super intuitive, but are required by the logic. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one of those right now with Speed Booster. So what might happen in the logic is you're in this room in the parlor here. You've gone through A Link to the Past. You've gone through Super Metroid. You have Speed Booster. You don't have any way of getting through these blocks. You don't have power bombs. You don't have bombs. You don't have screw attack. These are bomb blocks right here. I can actually show you with X-ray. Oh, would you look at that? Bomb blocks. Okay. You can, and you're like, oh, well, I can't charge a spark. I can't get blue suit here. There's not enough space, right? Oh, there's not enough space here either. So this is where a little bit of intuition might help you out here, or I can help you out. Open this door, right? Go ahead and just run through the door. You got plenty of space out here. Charge your spark, and run across, and then activate. There you go. Now you're through. And you want to be kind of careful with that method, though. As you can see, there's like a weird bar on the... Actually, wait. You can barely see it on the screen. So there's a weird bar. Oh, there we go. Okay. So in doing this, you screw up the graphics because the door wasn't fully aligned to the center of the side of the screen. So you do need to make sure that if you do Shinespark and you hit this door, just walk back and forth here. Make sure the door is fully aligned before you walk through. To fix that, I'm just gonna go ahead and reset. And that's in order to fix that, you would save and you would reset in case that happens. It's purely graphical, but it can get pretty bad looking. So in case that happens to you, that's a good thing to have pointed out. Okay. So another instance of something that Total and I were realizing that people were having a lot of trouble with was, turn this back on. Getting to the Criteria Super Missile without Ice Beam. So I'll go ahead and show that for you guys right now. Oops. Oops. Okay, so you've gotten in here, you've got your power bombs, you're here, so now you're like, okay, you don't have, so the minimum requirements for this are gonna be none of this. You might have bombs, you might have power bombs for this, either one will work. You don't have high jump space, but you got speed, right? So you're like, oh, well, I don't have ice to freeze these boyons, so what do I do? So there's a couple of things that you can do. The easiest possible thing that you can do to get across these guys is this space here. You can get, you saw I got blue right there at the end, right? And I was just about to get it right there. So here's what you can do. You can start right here, run, and then charge your spark. And then you're going to run back this way, and right as you're about to hit these guys, go ahead and jump. And you're going to be in your blue suit mode, which is going to make you invincible, and you can just jump right on past them and then spark, use your Shinespark to get up to the top through the blocks. So we're going to run over here, we're going to charge our spark, we're going to get blue, jump right through, invulnerability, boom. Super easy, right? And now you just got, you know, gravity suit. Awesome! That was, like, hiding right here for you. So that's going to be the easiest way that you can get across there without anything other than just speed booster and some way to access that area. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, so the next one I want to show. Let's go ahead and go here. So this next one we're going to show is another Shinespark trick that might not be super intuitive right away. It might seem like you don't have enough space to actually do this, but I will show you that you indeed do. So this is called the Waterway item down here. In vanilla, there's an E-tank right underneath charge. So you're going to come down here, and minimum requirements for this are going to be morph, power bombs, and speed booster. You do not need gravity for this. The game intends you to have gravity and just run through here, but without gravity, you're like, bonk. Well, I can't get through these speed blocks that are right here. What do I do? There is enough space up here to charge a spark. You saw I just barely got it there. So you're going to be charging it basically right off the edge. You have about a tile of space to charge this. So it's a little bit tight, but it's still definitely possible. You're not even going to fall off the ledge necessarily. And then you're just going to fall down in the water and activate the Shinespark exactly as I had already gone over. So you just go down like this, jump, hold jump, and then press left. And there you go. And then you're going to get, oh, Various Suit. All right, sweet. So that's that one. That's another big one that we were having people talk to us about. Let's see. Ah, okay. So there's an interesting requirement that this only comes up in randomizer. So in order to get the missiles above Golden Chorizo, there is actually a requirement for this Chozo to grab you and lower the acid, and that requirement is space jump. And I'll just kind of demonstrate that right now. So I'm actually going to give myself no space jump here. So it's in your inventory, just turned off, it's still gonna work, so that was not gonna... Okay. So you're here, right? You're like, all right, there was something, I went into Golden Chorizo and I saw there was an item at GT Missile, so now I'm gonna get this item. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, rats, he's not grabbing me. And you'll see that the plug down there is still there. The requirement is space jump. So you need to have space jump acquired, and that is the trigger for this guy to grab you and activate this cutscene. So that's that. And then I got notes here that I'm looking at, so I make sure that I don't miss anything. Oh yes, okay. So I kind of talked to you about delayed wall jumps earlier and kind of showed you what that looks like. I'll give you a better example, a more practical example of where that could be applied to make a wall jump a little bit easier for you. Don't worry about all the stuff that I'm doing quickly to get to place. Just worry about what I'm saying. Everything that I'm doing to get from place to place that I'm going is not ever going to be required. I'm only talking about and showing you things that are relevant to casual logic. Only right now. So this is the worst room in the game. So you're in this room, and it's called worst room in the game for a reason, because it's just this part is just all awful. But you know, your requirements to get here are going to be Varia. There's actually a whole bunch of a slew of things that, because of the portal, that could require you to get here. But you're here. You don't have, let's see, so you don't have space jump. You don't have you've got high jump, you don't got speed, whatever, blah blah blah. You just have high jump here. Oh, say you don't have bombs either. So like you can't infinite bomb jump. You're like, oh rats, I can't just like space jump up here, and I can't bomb jump up here from right here after you, of course, blow these blocks away. Which, by the way, this point right here, this block is where you would want to bomb jump from, if you do have bombs and you're going up here. But if you've got high jump, this jump is possible to make. About this little crack in the wall that's right to my left. It's about where you want to wall jump from to make it up here. And there you go. So this is where the delayed wall jumps help a little bit to give you just a little bit of extra horizontal distance away from the wall to get around the platform up here. So we're just do a little bit of a delayed wall jump, and then we got plenty of room there. Plenty of room. And you don't need to worry about this guy shooting. He's only going to start shooting once you get up there. So just a little bit of a delay, and there you go. Then you just get up here and you continue along like normal. The other instance where it's exactly the same wall jump is I'll tell you. There's two more where this is exactly the same situation. One of it is the plasma room, the room with plasma beam in it. That's gonna take a lot longer to get to. I'm not gonna show it just for to be concise. But the other one is right here in Norfair, to get up to the reserve room right here. So this ledge right here is exactly the same distance away, and these two sets of small bubbles that are right to my left is about where you want to be wall jumping away from, just like that crack was. So a little bit of a delayed wall jump, and boom, there you go. You're up here. The delayed wall jump's not required. It does definitely help you to get around those walls there. Okay, so I think that's most of what I wanted to talk about for tricks and things that I wanted to demonstrate. If there's anything that are people who are currently playing Casual Logic, things that you've struggled with that you want clarification for right now, please feel free to mention it in the chat. While I can hook you up with something like that. I'm gonna go over my notes real quick, make sure I covered everything that I wanted to cover. Doing delayed wall jumps to get up to Gauntlet is not in the Casual Logic. Getting up to Gauntlet in Casual Logic is Speed Booster, or Infinite Bomb Jumping, or Space Jump. Oh, that actually reminds me. So in that instance, so of course, like, the faster you're moving, the higher you're going to jump, right? So with Speed Booster, you know, the mechanic of Speed Booster making you run a lot faster means that you can jump higher. So with Speed Booster, right, you can do one of two things. You can either Shinespark, you can do exactly what, you know, we've been talking about, right? Or you could do a fancy diagonal Shinespark. Instead of holding a direction, you can actually hold the angle up button, and you will actually do a diagonal Shinespark. That's something that I forgot to mention earlier. You can kind of see this right here. You just hold an angle button and then jump, or jump and then press an angle button. You know, you could just do a vertical spark from right about here, and then just hold left. That'll get you over there. But if you're like, I'm a little energy stingy, I don't want to do that, right? But you're like, oh, I don't got the height, I don't got the hops for this. You want to jump the top of this hill. Basically just start from over here, jump from the top of the hill, and then you can get up here. You'll just run smack into this thing, and then you can just wall jump up the rest of the way. Use your bombs or power bombs or whatever it is, screw attack that you have to get out of this. And that's the other thing that I wanted to mention. There's one. So this is okay. So now that's a good segue actually into the next thing that I want to start talking about. Really, really important. If you got all this other stuff down, this is like super, super important to know. This is the preventing soft locks section. Okay, preventing soft locks is huge. There are a lot of soft locks that are just, you can't, by logic, just the way that the game is, you're going to get put into situations where it's possible to soft lock. This is really important, as I'm going to cover a lot of things here. This is not an exhaustive list, like I said. It's going to apply. What I'm giving you, though, is going to apply across the board to prevent soft locks in any situation. It's up to the player, though, to be aware and cognizant of that. So, here's the situation. You don't have morph, but you do have screw attack. So you're like, oh man, I want to go into Gauntlet and like check that item because it's in logic, right? Woohoo. So say you're going through this and you're like, oh no, I'm stuck here. I don't have morph. I'm pressing down, as you can see on the input display, but I don't have morph, and I can't turn out of here. Oh god, what do I do? In this specific situation, if you are crouch locked underneath a block, this happens very, very most commonly in Gauntlet. It's really common with just screw attack. You're not stuck. If you have open space to your right only, it does not work going left. If you have open space to your right only, there is a wiggle that you can do to get out of this situation. So what I'm actually going to do, let's just put myself farther in so you guys can see. Okay, so we're stuck. Rip. Not really. So what you can do is you actually hold angle. Actually, this might be so you can actually see. So you hold angle up. Right, we're holding angle up. Whatever button that is for you. Default is R. Right? You're going to turn, and then during your turning animation, you release the R button. You have like a couple frames to do this. It's not super tight, but you're gonna watch the input display. I'm gonna press right and then release R. And I'm gonna do it again. Now watch Samus. Watch Samus here. You see, I didn't turn. I started to turn, but then it pushed me. It fade me face left again. What this does is it cancels your turn. But when Samus turns, every time Samus turns, and she's not in morph, it moves her 2 pixels in the direction that she's turning. So what this does is it actually moves Samus 1 or 2 pixels in the direction that she's turning, but then forces you back to the left. So as you can see, we are slowly moving out. We're about to get free. Wow. Would you look at that? We are free. We are not stuck. And then as you get faster with this, it just goes much more quickly. And there you go. Right? This is really, really useful. Mostly going to occur in the Gauntlet when you have screw attack and you can get in there, break all these blocks with screw attack, but you don't have morph, and so you're like, oh god, oh, well, here we go, let's try again. Reminder, it only works going to the right. You cannot do this going to the left. It doesn't work. As a matter of fact, it's still shifting me out to the right. Actually, that's kind of funny. I didn't actually know that it does that. But it only moves you to the right. So it's called the Hondeezy Shuffle, or the wiggle, morphless wiggle. Just a general, if you're ever unsure on whether or not you're going to be soft locked, always save. Always save before you check an item, just in case you end up getting soft locked because you weren't sure what was going to happen on your way out. Another huge soft lock potential is power bombs. If you are going through with like 1 power bomb pack and no bombs, there's a huge potential for soft lock, like in so many different places that you go into and you leave and the blocks respawn and you don't have any more power bombs. So you always need to be aware of power bombs. So I'm going to be I'll give you a couple of different examples of this. Let's go. Here we go. So a really common one here is going to be going into Spazer. So again, this is, when you don't have bombs and you have limited amounts of power bombs, you really got to be aware of your power bombs. What enemies drop power bombs is a really good information to know. Where you're gonna, when blocks are gonna respawn. If you're ever using power bombs to go in somewhere, you always want to make sure that you've got some to get out. So you don't have bombs here, and these are bomb blocks. These are bomb blocks right here. So this one's just gonna send you down. So you just gotta wait. It will respawn though. This first one will not respawn. This one will respawn. So you just sit here and you wait for this to respawn. But you use bombs to get in here. These are both, the one right here and this one are both going to be here when you leave. So if you use your only power bomb to go in here and you have 0 right now, you are now soft lock. Unless it's not in the logic. Nothing will ever be in the logic where you have the potential to soft lock and the item is there. For example, Spore Spawn. Like, Morph will never be at Spore Spawn Super Missiles because you would have to go in there knowing that you would be soft locked if you're never put in that situation. So unless this is like bombs or power bombs at Spazer, you are now soft locked with no power bombs because you cannot break the 2 blocks here. You are stuck. So you need to be very aware of this. This is a very common situation for this to happen in. If you have 1 power bomb though, you're good. You're fine. You're out. Easy peasy every time. Right? Other situations where this happens, very, very common. Is high jump. So one thing you do also want to watch out for is this guy. So he is what requires you to open this door, and if you don't kill him quickly, and he... Oh god, help! And he escaped. You're not soft locked now. He takes a long time, but he comes back, and you can kill him, and you can... Like, if you didn't save before coming in here and you didn't kill him fast enough, you don't need to reset. You just wait for a really long time, because he basically needs to travel all the way around the room and come around back the bottom way, and he comes back up the tunnel here, and then you can kill him again. You'll see he's gonna follow me up. And then, oh, good, we're saved. And then you can leave. If you don't have morph, basically, for this situation. Now, if you have morph, but you don't have bombs, or power bombs, and you go into high jump, unless this is more bombs or power bombs, right? Now you're screwed again. You're soft locked, because you can't get out. Bomb blocks here are your one way out, your one ticket out of there. Oops. Bomb blocks here are your other way out. But that's it. So you are stuck if you don't have a way to get out. Now, that being said, right, you can still get this missile item here without being soft locked, right? You just don't go into the high jump room. So, like, this item here is going to be in the logic for you to get without bombs, because you don't need bombs. You just grab it and just come right back out, because what you've done, you've just entered the room and you've gone through these crumble blocks right above me. So these are still open from you having gone down here, or these bomb ones. These bomb ones wouldn't. These don't respawn either. So you've gone and you grab that missile and then you come back out and then you can leave, right? But this is just another one of those situations. And there's a save right here. So, you know, you can even check the item if you want at high jump, knowing you can't get out, just so you can have that knowledge. That's a good play in randomizer. But then you want to make sure that you've saved right beforehand. Let's see here. Oh, Fantoon is another example. Fantoon's a little less risky because he can drop you power bombs to get back out, but he does require bombs to get into him and out. And, you know, also there's a, you know, like a bomb tunnel that you need to get up as well. So you got to be careful with that. Make sure you're accurate. Basically, if you need to be paying attention to what power bombs you need to be using and how many you're going to have. Back of gravity. So the area behind gravity where the wreck ship reserve is, the bomb blocks that are right beneath the door to gravity do respawn. So you're going to need bombs to break them, and you're going to need a power bomb to, you know, get back to the reserve if you need to go back and get that. But then by the time you've checked whatever item that is past the robots and go back, those blocks will have respawned. So you'll need to have another power bomb to break them. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So here's so let me just save you a little bit of time here. People, you know, new players to SI might be like, oh, I just want to like run around and explore. One area you never want to go in randomizer, just because it's just literally never gonna help you, especially in combo, because the map is already like there for you, is this room right here. This is the Brinstar map room. Now, if you go in here without bombs or power bombs, you are soft locked, because this is a door that locks behind you until you've killed all the enemies in the room. There are 4 enemies in this room, 3 in the front, and oh gosh, 1 behind these bomb blocks that you can't reach. So if you don't have bombs or power bombs to get back there, you're stuck. There's literally never any reason to go in this room. So this is the top right door. Excuse me, top left door. In this green Brinstar area, one of the first areas you come in, just so you have an idea. And this is actually the green Brinstar Reserve area, which is where a very lucrative area that you want to go to with many, many items in it. This also has another potential softlock situation right here. This item looks very tempting to grab. However, without bombs or power bombs, you cannot get out, because this is your only way out here, this bomb block. So, you know, you can see it, you can get that knowledge, but you don't want to go down there and grab this item unless you have bombs or power bombs, so you can get back out once you've gotten it. As another, so, you know, you just want to make sure that when you're running through here with Speed Booster, that, you know, you're not stopping to grab that, you're just running straight on past it, back this way. Okay, there's a couple others that I want to hit on, and then it's going to be about everything that I wanted to cover for casual, and then we're going to move on into the next difficulty. So, let's go ahead and go to... What's the fastest way to get there? Here we go. So the next area that I want to show you is the Billy Mays items. So in Blue Brinstar, there are 2 items behind bomb and power bomb blocks. By this point, and this is actually a really important one to pay attention to, because if you're going through Brinstar the normal way and you've got power bombs, right? You're using a lot of power bombs to get to doing all of the item checks that you can in these areas. So by the time you're starting to go through Blue Brinstar, you're using even more here. Right, so you're, you know, these are bomb blocks right here. So you're going through those bomb blocks. You're using power bombs for those. These are power bomb blocks. You're using power bombs to get through here, and then you're traveling all this way. Blah 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 blah. And then these are power bomb blocks as well, and there's items up here. So these are power bomb blocks, so you've used a power bomb or a bomb to blow those up. And then if you have screw attack, you know, that's fine. But if you don't have screw attack here, this is a bomb block, so you can use a bomb, you know, a power bomb for this. Now, if you don't have bombs, right, this is where it's bad. No bombs, no screw attack, no power bombs, and you've gone up here and you've gone in this room. This block is going to respawn, and you're going to be stuck. So this is another one that's really important you want to be careful for, just because you're using so many power bombs getting to this point usually, in a typical route that you're going to see. Okay, there are 2 more things I want to cover. So you can get to, and we'll cover this in a little bit later as well. Oh, there's more than this that I wanted to go over. Actually, that's a good point that Canadian Owl made. Yes, you only need one. You only need to break that one block, because you fall down that shaft, and there's actually a crumble block on the right. If you just fall down that shaft and you hold right, there's a crumble block, and then you can just roll out the right side of that. So you only need one power bomb to escape there. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. So with, you know, combo and the portals that you can use, you can actually get back here without Morph Ball. This is a possibility that can happen. Now, you do need to be careful. If this is a decision that you're deciding to make, going back to Wave, without any means of getting out of here, which is going to be Wave Beam and Grapple or Space Jump, always need Wave Beam to get back through this way if you're going into the Wave item. You're going to need waves to get through there, and either grapple beam or space jump to get across. If you're going in here without those items, you're in a danger zone, because you're going to need to get through here, and, you know, you might not be able to get back through this gate. And if you fall and you can't get back up, this is your only way out. And if you don't have morph, you're stuck. So this is a really important one, to be sure that you're making sure that you're, you know, assessing the risk versus reward when you come in here. So again, it's going to be wave and space jump or grapple is going to be your requirements to go get that item. Now there are crumble blocks here, and there are crumble blocks here. If you land anywhere around these, you'll hit spikes, but you won't fall through, so you have a shot at actually getting back up and saving yourself. So again, you can come back here without with those items that I stated, but if you do decide to come back here without those items, then you're putting yourself in a soft lock situation. Last thing I want to talk about is what's going to be the best way to get here. The plasma room requirements. So you go into plasma, and there are multiple ways to kill those pink pirates. Plasma beam is one of them. So if you have plasma, then you're fine. You just kill the pirates the normal way and you get out. You have two other methods if you don't have plasma of killing these guys. One of them is screw attack, and then one of them is charge. So I'm just going to get there right now and then show you how that's done. Obviously, screw attack is going to be very easy. You just spin jump into them. Canadian Owl, I'd rather you didn't mention that stuff. We're keeping it just relevant to what's in casual logic right now. I will cover everything else in the next section of the video. I have not forgotten. This is casual only right now. So here's the plasma room. So, okay, so you can either kill these guys with plasma. Let's just go ahead and turn that on right now. You can have the other beams on, but, you know, plasma beam will kill them. Screw attack will kill them. Right? But your other option is charge. Now here's where you want to be a little bit more careful, because it'll take 2 charge pseudo screws. So if you hold a charge, you actually flash yellow, right? This is called a pseudo screw. Now this does damage to any enemy. If the damage that it does not deplete the enemy's health to 0, it will still do damage, but they will also damage you. So you need to be careful with your health here. So make sure you've got a decent amount of health, especially if you don't have any suits. They can be especially dangerous. These guys will do a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure Varia is a requirement for this to be in logic here, so if you don't have Varia, you don't even really want to be going in here in the first place. Well, actually, wait a minute. No, you're always going to have gravity. Just kidding. Disregard what I said. So you're always going to have gravity when you're in here. So they are going to take 2 pseudo screws. So you just walk up to them and you hit them. That was weird. Oh, they're actually... That was weird. Why are they dying in one hit? Oh, I wonder if it's because I was holding... But I was hitting them with a plasma shot. That's probably what it is. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so it doesn't matter what beam you're using. It was just hitting them with the plasma shot. So what you're gonna do is you hit them once. He's like, oh, there we go. Right, it was just firing another plasma shot because I was holding charge. So you do have to hit them twice, and then they will die. The second time they won't damage you because their health is depleted to 0. But you do need to hit them 2 times each. And they will die. Once you've killed them all, and the door at the top unlocks, and then you can leave. And that's basically it for preventing soft locks. So you don't want to make sure you go in here without either charge, screw attack, or plasma. Those are going to be your ways out of here. Though any one of those 3 will get you out of this place. Okay, so now let's talk about the portals. Unique to Combo Rando, and introduce some awesome logic, just some awesome logic into it. Actually, maybe I have... Let's see if I can actually demonstrate this, what I'm saying as I'm doing it. I think I have one that I've already done with items. I can just go around quickly. I did skip that delayed wall jump earlier. Yes, that's the other one that I was talking about that you could do, along with the worst room in the game and the Bubble Mountain one. So, portals in this game, there are 4 of them that lead between the 2 games. One of them is right here in the parlor in the first room of Super Metroid. You'll always start in Super Metroid. Your first option to go into Link to the Past is this door right here. And this will take you to the fortune teller just to the southeast of Link's house. And here you are in in Link to the Past. This is one of the portals. This is going to be your main one, usually the first one that you're using to get into A Link to the Past. There is a second portal. Since A Link to the Past says very, very quick fast travel, I'm just going to do them all show them all from A Link to the Past. Your second portal is going to be on Death Mountain. This door right here. This is going to take you into the business center in the first room of Norfair. The map station, usually. This will take you here. There are 2 other portals. As you can see, they always take you back and forth to the exact same location. You always know exactly where they're going to be. The third one is going to be the Eastern Mire Shed here. We're just going to run up and around. This one right here. This is going to take you into Lower Norfair. Now, be careful when you go in here that you're going to be in a heated room. So you're going to want to make sure that you have Varia before you go in here. This is going to take you right behind Golden Chorizo. The fourth portal and final portal takes a little bit longer to get to. However, it allows for some really awesome logic breaks as well as the one that I just showed you. Those are the 2 that are going to allow for, well, not logic breaks, excuse me. Allow you to complete, oops, this is not where I want to be. Allow you to do things in either one of these games that with drastically less item requirements than normal. Normally, if you're just playing the original game standalone. So if you're familiar with Link to the Past Door Rando, this area that this next one is in is commonly called the shopping mall. It's basically the Dark World cave just to the right of where the Vanilla Ice Rod cave is. So in order to access this, obviously, you're going to need Moon Pearl and some way to access Dark World and Flipper. So this one's probably the most restrictive to get to. The Mire one is as well, requiring, from A Link to the Past at least, requiring Flipper. Of course, you can get to these portals from either game and go into the other game. This one's also kind of dangerous because there's those flying mushroom guys that are just going to body you with bombs. So this cave right here, this one takes you to the missile refill in Meridia. Now the important thing, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the logic parts. I've shown all the portals now. Now let's go ahead and talk about how this affects logic. So now you're here in Meridia. You are behind Botwoon. There is a check in the game before you get to Botwoon that requires you have Speed Booster to get past Botwoon. However, you can get through here and behind Botwoon without Speed Booster. Speed Booster is a requirement to get past Botwoon. So you now do not need Speed Booster to get to Dragon, because we are just a couple rooms from Dragon here. Whatever items you have, you're getting through here. You're gonna have gravity, of course. Maybe grapple, maybe space jump to make it a little easier. But see, now we're at Dragon. Boom. We don't even need Speed Booster here. Okay, so this is really cool. It's, you know, if you're coming from Super Metroid and then starting this, you're gonna know that you need Speed Booster to get past Batu, to get to Batu and from Dragon. It's just a requirement, but now it's no longer required because of that portal. So that's a really cool thing. So that's something to keep in mind that the logic does keep account of. So you could have Speed Booster at Dragon, for example, and then, you know, like Varia Suit could be behind Speed Booster blocks somewhere. You know, like, and this is something that, you know, is super cool, is what makes combo so awesome, and that it takes those things into account there. Okay, now let's talk about the oh, this isn't the, I'm trying to get into the teleport menu, but this is not the practice ROM anymore. So let's talk about the Meyer Lower Norfair portal. So that one has more so this portal has more implications for Super Metroid. The Meyer Lower Norfair portal has more implications for A Link to the Past. So normally in A Link to the Past, to get to the Meyer area, your requirements are going to be Lift 2, so the Titan's Mitts, and Flute, just to get to that area. You don't necessarily need Moon Pearl for it. But now, none of that's even required. And let me show you why. So we're going to access it from Super Metroid. Actually, wait. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense. We're just going to go from... So assume we have gone from Super Metroid to this portal, right? You can just walk through everything, go through Super Metroid, whatever it is that you need required to get to that portal. So it's going to be, you know, like Varia and Gravity, Space Jump, whatever it is to get through there. And you've gotten here now. And now you can go in here. You might not even have... You might have Mirror, you might have Moon Pearl, but you definitely don't have Lift 2 and Flute, right? Oh, well... No Lift 2, no Flute, no Meyer, right? In A Link to the Past, but in Combo, you can get here. So you are here, and it's, you know, of course, raining and whatever. You can see what medallion you need. If you have the Mirror, that's even cooler. Here's the even cooler thing. If you have Mirror... Stand right here. Check this out. You don't even need Lift to complete Desert, right? You can, of course, you need to go into the front part of Desert first, get the big key in order to go back here and actually get to the boss. So, you know, you would mirror over here. Like, maybe you don't have the book, and you can't get to Desert normally either. You don't have the book, but you have mirror, and you can get to Lower Norfair. You can mirror here, go into Desert from here, go get your big key, right, wherever the big key is. And you don't have Lift. You have no Lift upgrade. You can't pick up rocks. Well, good thing you don't actually need that, because you can just go back into the Dark World. Doesn't matter if you have Moon Pearl or not. Stand right, you know, behind the Meyer entrance. Mirror. Here you are, right behind the blocks, and you can just go right into the second half of Desert. No Lift required. Okay, so this is a super, super cool thing. And of course, you can also check Checkerboard Cave. You need a lift for that still, obviously. But so if you're able to access this portal from Super Metroid from the back of Golden Chorizo, then you've got, you know, a number of options open to you, depending on, you know, with very small amounts of Link to the Past items. So that is basically it. That's basically it for casual. Are there any other questions or anything that people have? They've been going through playing casual, questions they have about the logic, changes for V10, or anything before I move on and start talking about the next difficulty? Yes, you do need gravity and you need space jump in order to get there. And Varia. You need all three of those things to get to this portal. Varia, gravity, space jump. and some kind of because you need to go through the, and you need power bombs obviously to break the blocks to let your to sit in the chozo and let the acid drain. Anything you guys want to cover? Want me to cover? I'll get the. Not for casual techno. I'm just purely talking about casual difficulty right now, which is going to be renamed again. Sorry, as normal difficulty, as normal. Oops. Okay, so with that, then I'm going to switch on over into the other difficulty mode that is currently named Tournament. However, with the plan to push for normal mode to become the standard tournament mode, a change for the name of the harder difficulty is going to be in place. A working name that we have come up with right now is Hard. It is going to be called Hard Difficulty right now. That is not set in stone, but that is what the more difficult difficulty is going to be called. Now, this one is going to include a lot of Super Metroid tricks and tech that you do need to know. Now, this is going to be a much more extensive part of this. Again, I'll reiterate, everything that I go through here is not an exhaustive list. It is comprehensive, as in it includes all of the tricks that are required by logic. I am not going to go over all of the various specific instances of where and when they might be applied. That is, you know, up to you guys to, you know, necessarily figure out there's some very, very niche and rare circumstances where some things might come up that I just might not go over. So, you're now playing hard mode. There are a lot of things that we got to go over. First of all, let's just start with a really cool one that I like. This is going to be specific to not having bombs or power bombs that you will do this trick. But you have screw attack. Oops. No, meme dance is not in the logic. Meme dance is actually called moon dance. Okay, so say you want to get to this item back here, but oh, you don't have bombs. Say I just pretend I don't have power bombs, but I also don't have bombs. Oh, rats. Darn. Oh, I should actually demonstrate this with minimal requirements here. So we don't have spring. You do have screw. You don't have any of these. You can get this item back here. And this could be bombs or power bombs. It could be your first way to destroy the bomb blocks, but you've got screw attack. So this is what you do. This is really cool. You start back here, and you jump, and you aim down, and hold down. And when you land, you're going to have Samus's head stuck in the ceiling. This is not close enough. So it takes a little bit of finesse. Oh, wow. That's like perfect. I'm right up against the wall. You're not necessarily going to... This is not as close as you need to be. You can be like about right here. Let me do one that's like not as so amazingly perfect. This works like about halfway. You turn left and then you jump and press right at the same time. Oh, that actually did not quite work. Oh, well, see, now I'm messing it up. There we go. There you go. So you turn left and then you press jump and right at the same time, and then you will spin jump and your screw attack will break that block, and then you can grab the item back here. So this is going to be, again, you have screw attack, but you don't have bombs or power bombs. This item here being your potential first bombs or power bombs. So that is in the logic. Let's go to... Wreck ship. There is one item, the wreck ship energy tank, that can require a cool bomb jump to get to. So if you don't have gravity, you don't have speed, you don't have space, you don't have high jump, you don't have like literally any movement item at all to help you get through the sponge bath here. Let's go ahead and turn all this stuff off. You don't have anything, you're like, oh, can't get out. Okay. You can use bombs or power bombs for this. Power bomb, if you only have power bombs and you're still not super confident in this trick, I would advise saving so that in case it takes multiple attempts, you can just reset, get your power bombs back, and keep trying. Or you could just farm the bull in here, and he has a very, very high % chance to drop a power bomb. Here's how you do this. You basically are going to do a crouch jump. A crouch jump, for those of you who don't know, gives you a little bit of extra height. From your jump, you can just look Samus's head, her visor, like, gets above the thing there, and it's, like, cut in half. So it's not much height, but it's a little bit. And it's a little bit more, noticeable out of water. But basically, you're going to crouch jump and then morph immediately. As soon as you start to descend, you lay a bomb, and it should be a couple of pixels between the bottom of the bomb and the water. And then immediately, you unmorph into a crouched position and jump and morph again right away, and the bomb should propel you up onto the ledge. You have to hold right, but that's basically how this works. And so you're up. It, again, also works with power bombs. Same exact way. Same exact timing. Power bombs are limited. So if you're not super confident with this trick, I would advise saving beforehand. So this is a really cool thing that's in logic if you have, like, literally nothing else. Okay, so let's talk about something a little bit more simple. Short charging. So, obviously, if you hold run long enough, you're going to enter blue. But there are 4 frames in which... Let's see if I can do this here. Oops. There are 4 frames at which the game checks to see whether or not you're holding run. Why is it not working now? I'm trying to get it to stop. I'm trying to get it to stop on the frame. I don't think it will work when I'm holding... There we go. Perfect. Okay. So this is the frame that you want to be looking for. Oh, I could have done that, huh? Total. This is the frame you want. It looks exactly the same in reverse. It's the back leg is in that V. That's the cue I like to use. I look at her back leg. Whenever it's up like that, her heel is really high. It's like a V shape, the back leg. The game looks at this 4 times, and whether or not you're holding run on this frame 4 times. And if you are, on those 4 instances, then it will put you in blue suit. So, for example, if we decide to only hold run, we can get a much shorter charge. Let's use this little bug here as an example. Okay, so I charge, like, right before him, like 2 little blue things before him, but if I don't short charge at all, I'm, like, way past and I'm still not even... I'm trying to short charge, like, as early as possible. 3, 4, whatever. Okay, so you see I'm, like, running past him even. So, short charging is going to be a requirement in the logic here to do shorter charges. So, anytime that back leg comes up, you want to be pressing run and letting go of run. You're only tapping run on those frames. And so whenever you're holding run, your speed increases. However, when you're not holding run and only by tapping on those frames, your speed is not increasing, and only for the couple of frames that you hold the run button, which allows for a much shorter distance to charge. And so this is just used all over the place. I'm not going to possibly tell you all of the places where this is required. You're just going to figure it out on your own. But practice short charging. And so something you see me do at the beginning here is called a stutter. You can see the left arrow is just flashing. Obviously works both directions. But I'm tapping the left arrow 3 times before I'm actually starting, and that just cycles through her first set of animation. You can see, like, I'm in, like, 1 tile, I'm getting that back leg to come up, as opposed to if I hold it, it comes up, like, 3 tiles later. So that just makes it an even shorter of a charge. Simplest thing you can do for a short charge is just delay holding run. So you can press forward, and then when that leg comes up the first time, hit run. And see, look at that. You're already... I was doing, you know, like a triple tap, stutter charge and ending up right here. According to this bug, with that, I didn't do anything. All I did was delay holding run, and I ended up right here. So you can already see, and the other, so it's not even much difference. And the other one, I was like way over here, right? So, basically, you just to do stutter, if you do it too fast, you end up like this. If you do it too slow, you're running also stop. So it's a little bit of a timing. You just get a timing for it. Tap 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 tap. Tap 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 tap. And so the stuttering only works before the first dash, and then you have to hold the forward button. Anyway, that's enough. I spent enough time on short charging. So that's just used everywhere. Okay, let's talk about Lava Dive. So Lava Dive is a trick that you can do to get into Lower Norfair without gravity and space jump, the normal requirements. Oops, I did not mean to pause. So normally the game expects you to have gravity and space jump to get up through the Lava Dive, and it's, you know, super free to get through there. Dodge the Namahes that are shooting fireballs at you like nobody's business. Right? But say you don't have those things. Okay? So, let's say you don't have gravity. You don't have any of this. You don't have any of this. If you don't have any of that, Varia and high jump are going to be your bare minimums here. This is what you do. So, you're basically going to go all the way to the left, jump on a Namahe's head, wall jump off the next Namahe's head, let go of jump at a certain height, and then wall jump up the rest of the way. It'll look a lot more clear. I just wanted to explain it first before I do it. So you're going to be taking damage. The damage that you take in combo rando is much less than you do in the normal game, just due to the way that the suits work. You're going to jump up on this guy, wait for him to shoot, wall jump off of him. Let go of jump here, because that guy is going to shoot you, and if you go too high, you're going to be in his line of fire. So you need to go underneath him, and you want to do either a delayed wall jump or jump low off of this, so you don't bonk into the bottom of him. Oops. Because if you wall jump too high, or you don't do like a delayed wall jump, you're going to bonk into his chin. So let go of jump there, because I was in his line of fire. For God's sake. Let go of jump, and wait for him to fire, and then there you go. Super easy. So that's one way to do the Lava Dive. Another way to do the Lava Dive is with gravity and Varia. Or without Varia. I think, no, with you're going to have Varia. So you have gravity, right, and you have high jump, so you can do it this way. This is called the gravity jump. And there's other applications for gravity jumps as well. So maybe you're not too comfortable with that method, but you're like, hey, I got gravity, I got bailed out here. What you do, the way this works basically, is your momentum values start much lower and decay very slowly when you have water physics or lava physics. But they start much higher and decay much faster with gravity on in those situations. So, you take advantage of the best of both worlds. You start with highest momentum values with gravity, with slowest decay values without gravity. So essentially, you are going to run, well, you're going to pause, and then you're going to run towards the end of the pause, and as close to the end of the pause as you can, you're going to jump. So let's go ahead and do that. Jump. Now you turn off gravity. Now make sure you're holding jump the entire time from when the pause starts and fully fades out to when it, as soon as you press pause now, you just hold jump again and keep holding left. Slow decay gets you all the way up to the top. Same exact principle works in water. Now with high jump, that's super easy. You saw I just got right up to the top. You can also do this without high jump. It requires just a couple of wall jumps here. So same thing. Pause, jump towards the end, take off gravity. You're only going to get up underneath this guy. And now you can't do a wall jump straight up there like you saw me do with high jump earlier. To go off of his head first. and then you can get up here. So those are going to be your lava dive entrances into Lower Norfair. Those are all in logic. Now let's go ahead and talk about some other instances of gravity jumping. Very, very useful in Meridia. So going through here, you know, with gravity is all, you know, fine and dandy, but maybe you don't have space jump, you don't have grapple, you don't have bombs, you don't have spring ball, which I'll get to later. You don't have high jump, even. No space, no speed. You have no way of getting up here. Well, you're not out of luck. So what you can do is you want to get a running start here. So you'll start from about this very last little, I don't know, platform. And you'll pause about right when you start running, and then you'll want to jump when you get to about the top, the first flat part here. So you'll pause, and then jump. You can hear the jump there. Go ahead and take off gravity. Make sure you're holding jump. Boom. Then you can do the same thing. Again, crouch jumping. Gets you a little bit more height. Take off the gravity. Boom, there you go. You're up here. This can be used in so many different situations. This is, you know, going to be a big one there. You can do that to exit Dragon's room. Gravity jumping really helps you with that. Next couple of things I'm going to show you are in this room. The Aqueduct. The Aqueduct is a room with many, many tricks. Let's go ahead and position ourselves right here. This is going to be called the snail clip. This can be done with or without high jump. I'll show you both. You don't need speed. Normally, speed booster is required to get these items. Sorry, I messed it up. Okay. Normally, speed booster is required to get these items. However, you can use a snail to clip up through these blocks here. So you're going to need gravity, but that's all you need for this. So you get him in about this position, lined up with those dots. I know this is actually a little bit lower than that. Oops. Okay, well, that's why I had a save state. So a little bit lower than that is going to be your point here. Do I have? I do have high jump on. Okay. So with high jump, you have a 2 pixel window for this. Without high jump, you have 1. So there we go. That's what you want. He'll be right here, and you just press and hold jump, press and hold jump, press and hold jump, and you're through. And you can get both of these items, and then head back down. And you need to be careful. If you don't hold jump for long enough, you'll do like a partial jump, and you'll get stuck, and then you're screwed. So don't do that. Oh, this is wrong. Not high enough. Gotta wait for him to go a little higher. Watch out for that guy. Oh, no. Well, now you're stuck. You're donezo. Hopefully you saved. Or you just don't do this. Just always do full jumps. Always do full jumps. And so, same exact thing. You can do it without high jump. Again, it's more precise. It is a pixel perfect alignment for the snail. It's not high enough. Oh, I think this is good. Oh, he didn't move. Well, maybe this is actually too high. Let's try again. I'm gonna wait for this guy to run by. There we go. Yeah. So just make sure you're very careful with that. That is a requirement. Now, something that I will get back to later that is also going to be required in this room here. It's called a snail climb. So where is my friend? Oh, he came from. Okay, I ran. He's the one who got mad at me. So snail climb. This is going to be required if you don't have gravity. You're either going to, in this situation, and again, I will get back to this later. You're either going to have spring ball or you're going to have high jump for this. But you want this guy to come over here. And this is going to get you up to the Batoon door. Don't look at him, basically. And then he'll make his way downtown. Back around here. Don't worry, Taylor, we'll get there. It's in my notes. That specific thing. So I blew out the powerbomb blocks, which is why he needed to go all the way around. Okay, so here's this. So this snail can carry you all the way to the top. So there's two ways you can do this. You can jump on top of him. Oop, you don't want to do that. Jump on top of him. Turn. Jump. Get out of here. Turn. Let him... Oop. This is not good. Okay. So basically, you have to turn so that he will start moving. But then you have to jump because otherwise he'll hit you and you'll just go right through him. And look at that. We're up at the top. Or the other way you can do this is you're going to turn around and just hold down. And he's going to carry you all the way up. And now you do have to be careful with this because you have to learn a little bit of where the... Because you're gonna go off screen. So the timing, the positioning for this is a little bit tricky. Honestly, I don't even do this method anymore because it was just really inconsistent for me. Whoops. This way is gonna be faster. Oh, well, that didn't even work. Rip. So let's see. Let's see if we can find out a visual cue right now. This way, again, this way is going to be faster. It's just more inconsistent for me. So I think it looked like about when we got up to the ceiling here. Maybe we can... Oh, rip. Okay. Anyway, it's about that. You can figure that out on your own. I don't like this method. I like doing the other method. Again, it's a little bit slower. You just wait for him to appear, and then you turn back around, wait for him to appear. Especially with high jump, you can get much more distance each time. Don't aim down because it makes your turning animation last longer. Also make sure that you have enough space to turn back around without sliding off the side. Watch out for the other snails. I had to wait a really long time for this guy. So those snails normally aren't going to be there, but I had to wait such a long time. There were other snails in the room that got to get to that point. So normally those guys aren't going to be there. Okay. Let's see. What's next? So we did... there's a lot of stuff here. I'm just going to start deleting stuff. We did this. Actually, now I think is a good time to talk about springwell jumps. Springwell jumps are super, super useful in so many situations. I'm going to go over only a few. They're used all over the place in various different logic situations. You need to have springwell for this. You need to have morph, obviously. That's it. That's all you need. This is how they work. You have springwell turned off. You need to jump and morph and pause. You need to be fully morphed before the pause screen takes over. And so the screen is still fading out, and it might look like you haven't completely morphed by the time the screen fades, but usually you have. So I'm just going to go ahead and show that then. So normally I like to pause first and then jump and morph. And you can see I was still rising. That's important. You need to still be rising, and you need to be fully morphed when the pause screen takes over. You turn on spring ball, and then when you unpause while you're still rising, you just press jump again. You can watch the, it's going to be A. You can watch the input display there. I'm just going to hit A while I'm still rising, and it's going to start another jump. Boom. Super height, right? This can be used with gravity, without gravity, with high jump, without high jump. Obviously, without high jump, you're going to get less height. It's still very useful in a lot of Meridia. Mostly suitless Meridia is going to be the main spot where this is used. your requirements for going through Suitless Meridia from the normal entrance from the Meridia tube are going to be either high jump, grapple, high jump, ice, high jump, grapple, spring ball, or high jump, grapple, ice. And obviously, if you don't have ice, you're not going to get past Botwoon without without gravity or and speed or something. But I might as well, actually, while I'm here, I might as well just go ahead and show that trick. So you can actually, without speed booster, you can get to Botwoon by clipping. Very, very easy clip. You need ice, though, obviously, and you need a Mach Droid. And you stand right here and walk right up against the wall. Actually, let me just do it like this. You walk right up against the wall. You're going to crouch and aim up from a crouch. Now, that is used by pressing both the angle buttons down at the same time. And then shoot and freeze the guy. So it's going to take two shots with the, or one, I'm sorry. One with Spazer Wave ice. And so from here, when he's frozen, you need to be crouched because you can see he follows you. He needs to be down here. And you freeze him, and you jump, and then you jump and aim down, and that puts you in a crouched position on top of him, and then you can just stand up, and then jump, and you're through. And this is going to get you into Botwoon. Obviously, your other method is to use Speed Booster and, you know, get through these speed blocks and get there. So, you know, that's basically your Suitless Meridia stuff here. I'll go through it a little bit and kind of show you how more Suitless Meridia works in a minute. I want to keep going with Spring Ball jumps, though. There's a couple of other situations where Spring Ball jumps are required to help you get out of places. There's a couple of them in Norfair that are used when a normal wall jump won't work. Yeah, for whatever reason you're using the inferior control scheme of no angle down. Cross product. Behemoth. I'm just kidding. If you do prefer, if that is more comfortable for you to have like dash and you on like angle and you don't have an angle down, just turning to the left and shooting straight will get it to work. Actually, well, I might as well talk about this. This is also on my list. Green gate glitches. Gates that are facing to the left like this can be glitched through from the right side. So with supers or missiles. Obviously the green ones have to be supers, but you can do it with blue ones as well with either regular missiles or supers. Basically what happens is, a good visual cue I like to have is my gun. You see how there's like a gradient on this pillar? It starts with like a white and then it gets to like a lighter gray, or a darker gray, and goes to like a dark blue or a black. I want my gun to be on the first gradient of gray on the left, like the center of my gun, be first on the gray gradient to the left of the center. And from here, you jump, and then you press left and shoot at the same time. And it takes a little bit of trial and error here. But essentially what you're doing is you're Dopplering the super missile through the gate. And you get it. So this is going to be required, you know, this is not the only situation where this is required. This is the most common one. The most useful one, because of the Mire portal right here. You can access Mire from here now because of that green gate. But let's say you've gone in here and you're like, oh, well, how do I get up here? I don't have space jump. I don't have speed booster. If you have speed booster, you can go through, kill Golden Chorizo and then just Shinespark up here. But you have none of that. All you've got is a way to break those blocks, so power bombs. You don't have bombs. You can't infinite bomb jump. You know, you don't have space. You don't have speed. Whatever. You're like, oh, well, I'm screwed. I can't. This jump is impossible, right? You can't, even with, you know, delayed wall jumps, you can't get around it. You can do mid-air spring ball jumps here. Doing it from down here is not going to get you enough height. The only way you can do it is out of a wall jump. So it's a little bit more, it requires a little bit more technical prowess, as I like to say. But basically you're doing as you would do Alcatraz. So you're just going to jump and wall jump into a morph, And I like to pause before I do anything. So I jump higher than I want to. As I start to fall is when I'm pausing, and then I'm immediately going to wall jump. And I'm going to wall jump around like the top of this door. So I pause and wall jump, and you saw it was already morphed. Oh, I had spring ball on. Just kidding, it's not going to work. A reminder, spring ball needs to be off, and you need to turn it on first. So again, do the same thing. I might be too high here. I might bonk into the ceiling. I did not. And then you just hold left, and then once you get into an opening that you've power bombed these open, you get into the opening, and you boom, you just spring ball right on up into that. There are some other really great uses of this. I don't like how it pauses sometimes. Another one would be worst room in the game. Oops. So again, same exact situation. Maybe that. So that one also works without high jump. All of these ones, almost all of these work without high jump. So again, let's say you're in here, blah blah blah. You've broken these with power bombs. There is a wall jump that you can do. That is frame and pixel perfect to get up here without high jump, but screw doing that. You can just do a... Oh, for God's sake. My controller, whatever reason, does not like me doing... morphs from a wall jump coming from a left wall. Oh. I was either not morphed completely there, or I just hit the jump button too late. I think I wasn't morphed completely before the pause. Oops. Oh, I morphed. Wow, okay, I didn't realize. There we go. Let's try again. There we go. And they're much, much easier, much faster than... Well, it's not faster than doing the other wall jump, but then wall jump is not in logic, by the way. Doing the very precise wall jump here is not going to be in logic at all, so don't even worry about it. Do the spring ball jump there. Oh, there's another really cool one that I want to show you. And let me just preface all of this with the fact that many of these things that I'm showing you are very, very rare circumstances. Like doing these things with like minimal requirements that the minimal requirements that I'm showing you are extremely rare circumstances that just are very, very unlikely to occur. They can occur, which is why I'm showing these things, but it's not very likely, and it's just good to have these skills in your repertoire anyway, in my opinion. Okay, but say you made it here. You don't even need gravity at this point. You don't even need gravity to get to this point. So if you don't have gravity, right, if you do, you can just wall jump up here, right? But if you don't have gravity, you just use the mama turtle to get you out of the water, and then you come over here, you wall jump up. Oh, you're actually, no, you're right here. So you're like, oh, hey, check out this E-tank. Whoa, I don't have grapple. I don't have, literally, you don't have anything to get you over there. Okay, you don't have bombs to bomb jump up off of mama turtle. You literally have nothing, but you have spring ball. Ooh. Start from the very back. You need a running start. I don't know if I got it, but I'm gonna try it anyway. No, I did not. I should actually create a save state for this. Just make this faster. Okay. That might have worked. No. This is a little trickier, obviously, as you can see, but there you go. You're not going to get on top of this platform, but you are going to grab the E-tank. So this is possible to do with a spring ball jump without high jump. Literally just morph and spring ball. And whatever other possible items that you have that you're getting to this point. Now, you're not really getting to this point with just morph and spring, I don't think. Actually, you might with power bombs, too. I think you can actually get here. from the Meridia portal. But I'll go into more about that. We're still in the tricks phase, not the like application phase. Actually, we're kind of in the application phase. I'm kind of jumping between things here. So that's spring ball jumping, though. Again, it's used so many different places, so many different ways. Really blows up Meridia mostly, and opened up Lower Norfair a little bit more from the current logic. Wix blew up Meridia a lot more in more rare circumstances. Okay, we did snail climbing. Oh. We did not do grapple jumps. So let's talk about grapple jumps. What am I looking for? Aqueduct. Really useful trick to know if you don't want to do snail climbing. Let's just kind of kill these guys. So if you have spring ball on, this still works. It's easier without spring ball on. Less like inputs, less you have to think about. If you grapple and then from a swing morph and then unmorph and jump, and then morph and then unmorph and jump, you can just chain together jumps over and over. Oops. Oh my god, please. Oh, let's do this without gravity. It's gonna be a lot easier in this situation without gravity. Pretty much any situation without gravity is what you want to be doing. Oh my god. Yeah, high jump. I was just gonna put a high jump on as well. So you jump. Basically, I'm just pressing down until I morph and then spamming jump, and then you can just do this infinitely. Now, this works with Spring Ball too, so if you don't want to like waste the pause to turn Spring Ball off. If you're planning on doing Spring Ball jumps in the future, in the same like set of Suitless Meridia, I would advise just turning it off because you have to turn it off anyway. But if it is on, you basically need to morph and then unmorph with up instead of unmorph with jump. And then you have to jump. So I'll just demonstrate that like right now real quick. Unmorph and then... So still, same thing works. And so this can be used to quickly get up to the top of here if you're not going to use the snail climb. There are other instances where this can be used. Whether or not that's going to be implemented in logic is not yet determined. It is possible without high jump, yes. It's just a little bit more difficult. Oops. You just need to start much higher. Basically. You need to get up higher and then get away from the wall. And then... Oh, I still have spring ball on. Rip. So that you don't end up in that wall jump animation. So you can start swinging. Oops. It's really important to make sure that you're holding left or whatever direction you're going in for a little bit after you... And you see it's a lot less height, so you need to be much faster because as soon as you reach that peak height, then it's all over. You can't continue the... It basically works a similar way to spring ball jumps, as in you need to still be rising. As soon as you start to fall, it doesn't work anymore. Okay. I did grapple jumping. Okay, now let's do... Oh, okay. This is what Nintaylor, I think, was asking earlier. So he wanted to see, I'm going to show you guys this now, escaping water without gravity. Really the only time where this is going to be... There's very select circumstances where this is required. This is one of them. I'll show the other one. So you've gotten here, and you don't have gravity suit. It is possible to get up here and escape this water here, right? So you're going up here, you can just do wall jumps like this. But you're like, oh, how do I get out of here? Well, logically, okay, so what I just did, okay, so you can do it without anything, it's really not that bad. Logically, it's not going to be ever required to just do that. Basically, all you do is you just do faster wall jumps. Like, literally, you saw as soon as I started doing the wall jumps more quickly, I'll move the controller cam a little bit. Like, as soon as, you can even watch the control pad too, like, as soon as I start doing faster wall jumps at the top, it gets, you get out of there. Oops. Oh, well, now I'm messing it up. Oh, no, see, I can't even do it now. Space jump is on, but that's not what was... That's not what was affecting it. Basically, what you do is you get as high as you can above the water, and then you need to turn around and wall jump as quickly as possible. So, like, right here. And you just that's essentially the way it works. If it helps you, it helps me understand it this way, because this is the way I think. But you want to get as high as you can in the water, basically. So you're as high up as possible. Turn around right away, so you're still as high as you can possibly be, and then wall jump as quickly as you can. So you are actually out of the water for a very brief amount of time, and you can wall jump and escape the water. That is not in the logic. To logically escape this water, you are either going to have spring ball or you're going to have space jump. With space jump, it's super free. You wall jump up here. When you get to about here, you can actually just start space jumping in place. And obviously you're like way out of the water, and you can just, you know, it's super free with space jump. When you get about halfway up, you can just literally start bouncing on the surface. Super free. With spring ball, you just do a spring ball jump. And it's also super free. Maybe not, actually. Maybe the spring ball doesn't work here. I'll have to total that. Maybe it does. Maybe I just need to wait a little longer. Let's try from a crouch jump. I don't think I did it from a crouch jump. Get it more high. It looked like it was almost possible. Oh, that's almost there. Ooh. Yeah, you probably need to just do your jump like right at the very end. At like the maximum height. Oh man. I'll give it one more try, and then I'll look into it a little bit later. There we go. Yeah, it's like literally like the maximum amount of height that you need to do. So yeah, so requirements for this, you can do the wall jumps. The wall jumps really aren't that tricky, but it's not going to be required in logic as of now. But space jump or spring ball will be a requirement here to get these items. And then obviously you're, you know, doing it over here, but like you're going to have high jump at this point, required always. And so then you can just do an Alcatraz type deal to get up into this. You need to do it pretty close to the water, so you don't hit the ceiling like I was doing. But again, it's like this stupid left wall. My controller just like can't do it off of the left wall for some reason. Having trouble. But yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay, one thing I also wanted to show. Something that's also going to be required in logic, if you don't have any like spring ball or bombs, power bombs, any way to like get up into a ceiling hole that is 3 tiles high, as a human you cannot jump up into this. Underwater you can, but out of water you cannot do this. But you can actually get up there with a Alcatraz like jump. You basically... Oh, come on. It's not as hard as I'm making it look. Here, let me just turn off screw attack. It's also kind of like... There we go. You wall jump low, and then just morph, and then hold left or right, whatever direction you're trying to go, and you can actually get up into these holes here. Let me show it one more time. It would help, yes, but I'm showing it with you don't have to turn off high jump. Yes, turning it off high jump would help, but it's not a requirement. Having high jump on, it still works. Okay, well, another thing I want to show that's really cool, that's logical. There are two requirements for spring ball. Two separate sets of items, logical item requirements for spring ball. Both of which always include grapple. Both of which always include power bombs, obviously. But gravity and a gravity jump, if you don't have high jump, will get you in here. If you do have high jump, easy. Basically, you'll just do the way that if people don't understand how jumping out of sand works, it can be pretty shitty. You basically will, as soon as you hit the sand, just do a spin jump. And you can turn around, and it will just keep you straight. It'll keep you going straight. So instead of trying to like aim yourself in there from like over here. Oh god, right? Just go like from right to the left of it, and spin jump right as you hit the sand. Immediately as you hit the sand, just do a spin jump, and you'll get the full height. If you wait any longer, you're not gonna get the. Well, maybe you do. Yeah, if you wait too long, you're not gonna get the height. Without high jump, or without high jump. Oops. Oh no, we don't want high jump on. I jump. Okay, so I jump I'm gonna jump full to the ceiling, pause, and when I'm about halfway down the screen, like aligned with the door, that's when I'm gonna pause. And then I'm gonna do a spin jump. It's basically a spin jump gravity jump. So you're just gonna do this. I think I got the spin jump gravity jump off. I did not. No, it's not. Ice clip is not a thing. Ice clip is not required by logic. Oh, I had it saved. LOL. That was too early. There we go. That'll probably work. Oops. We're only talking about in-logic stuff right now. Oops, I need to... There we go, that should work. And I like to break spin so that I stop moving as soon as I see that I'm in vertical alignment with the hole. Just takes me straight up. And so then obviously you put gravity back on and then you just go up like that. Now, assuming that you don't have gravity, you can still get spring ball. So the requirements for this are going to be no gravity, basically. Obviously power bombs and grapple, but you also need spring ball, high jump, and space jump. These are the things you need. And this is how this works. Excuse me. You're gonna do what's called a flatly. Flatly jump is when you are on the very edge of a platform. Oops. So I'm on the very edge of the platform. So when you turn, you can see I'm still turning, but I'm like falling off the ledge right here. Now this is good because if you try and jump right now, like try and jump here, you're not quite, you're just barely hitting that ledge. You're not quite getting up in there. But what this does is actually takes you lower, and you can actually jump up in there. So what you do, something like that. But you're not going to break spin. You're going to wall jump up the rest of the way. So you're going to get in, and then just single wall jump. Just hold the direction and just start mash and jump, and then you get up there. Really easy. And from here, the water is oscillating from up and down. As soon as it reaches its top and it starts to go down, that's when you're going to jump. And this is where space jump comes in. So you're going to break out of the water, and it needs to be going down, otherwise it's too high. So see, that was too low. So you need to wait till it starts to lower, and then you jump up, and it lowered just enough right there when I got to the top for me to start bouncing on the top and get up. And so now the rest of it becomes, normal until you get to the spring ball item. And that's where spring ball is required. In order to actually get to the item and get out, you do need spring ball to do that. So that's why the spring ball is required for that. Really simple flatly, really simple breaking the top of the water with space jump there. Okay. One last thing about... Oh, that's a portal thing. I'll talk about that later. We talked about Green Gate, we did Snail Clip, we did Batoon Clip. Okay. Two other things, basically, and then that's it. As far as tricks are concerned. Gauntlet. Gauntlet has a couple of different requirements because there are two sets of items in different places that you need to get to. So let's just talk about the first one. The first one is the E-Tank. In order for this to be in logic, you need to be able to get in and get out. Okay, if you're going in and not being able to leave is not going to ever be in logic. So, logical requirement, very easy, screw attack. Obviously, you can get all the way in and you can get all the way out with screw attack. 10 power bombs. Obviously, you can get all the way in using like 4 power bombs and then get all the way out with like another 4 or whatever. So you need 2 packs to be able to get in and out. With 10 power bombs, you can actually go in and continue all the way through. So the latter part requires 10 power bombs. Or to get in and out, or to get in and continue all the way through, 5 power bombs and speed booster. And I think 3 E-Tanks, I think, is the requirement for that as well. So let me show you how this works here. This is what you're going to do. You're going to use speed booster. You're going to get up here. You're going to Shinespark up here. You're going to do a Shinespark to break these blocks. Or you don't even need to do a Shinespark here. You can just use power bombs and break these blocks. But you need to get through here and you need to open this door. Right? Because remember, you only got 5 power bombs. You only got 5 power bombs. So now that this door's open, these blocks are broken, you're going to come back down here and you're going to refill your health and your power bomb. So now you're at full health, which is going to be 3 E-Tanks at minimum, and 5 power bomb packs. That's the max amount of power bomb packs that you have for this. And then you can either spark back up there, which I wouldn't recommend because it's going to consume more health, or you just jump here, do a spark, stand from the top of here, and then shine spark through the open door. Obviously, if you have wave and you know how to do the wraparound shot, you can do that too. But that's not a requirement for this. Again, these are minimal requirements for these things. So now you're in here, you got all the way to this door, and you still got 5 power bombs. And with your 5 power bombs, obviously you can collect this item, and you can continue all the way. You don't have screw attack, remember. It's just speed and... one set of power bombs. And here you go. And now you're back at the other set of items back here. So those are the gauntlet requirements. So obviously very intuitive for screw attack to be easy. 2 sets of power bombs, that's easy. The other one is going to be speed booster and 1 set of power bombs, 3 E-Tanks. That's the other requirement that's that is added now into logic. So that's gauntlet. Okay, last thing before I start talking about portals and all that juicy goodness that I absolutely just love because combo is so amazing. Let's talk about hell runs. So hell runs are... Oops, this is not where I want to be. What? I want tunnel. Oops. Please. Hell runs are running through heated rooms without Varia, which protects from heat. Requirements for this are... Oh, I didn't go through Suitless Meridia stuff, like actually showing how that's done with the different like spring ball jumps and stuff. That's fine. I can do that later. It's not super important. So there are 2 different sets of Hell Run E-Tank requirements. There is 3 E-Tanks and there is 5 E-Tanks. Now, when I say E-Tanks, that takes into account energy tanks and reserves. So any combination there. Sorry. Any combination of 5 E-tanks and reserves. Or 3 E-tanks and reserves. So to get to ice, it's 3. To do any other hell run, it's 5. So if you're going left, basically, from here, you need 3. If you're going right, you need 5. That's it. For ice, obviously, you're going to need, you know, you don't have Varia. Gravity does not affect heat or any environmental damage at all in this. You're going to want Morph. You don't need bombs. Bombs are not in the logic of this. Neither are power bombs. It's possible to get out this way. You're definitely going to want to save, though, before trying this without bombs or power bombs. Yeah, this is basically all you're gonna have. So obviously, and if you have power bombs, obviously you're able to go down and get this item as well. But so you're going through here, you're taking your heat, blah 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 blah. Escaping here without bombs or power bombs or ice is the tricky part. So basically, you just time it and wait for this guy to be close to the platform so you can run on him to get your speed. Oh, come on. To be able to mock ball underneath the gate. Because you can't freeze him in the right spot. You don't have bombs to blow up the blocks up this way to go along the upper thing. So if you don't have bombs or power bombs, you're definitely going to want to be a little more careful. Either practice that, have Ice Beam, or save first before doing that. And then reminder that there's this. If you don't have bombs, you're not screwed here. Just turn off beams and shoot that block out. If for whatever reason that happens. Yes. Nintailor. Okay, so now you've got this hell run. So this is without speed booster. With speed, obviously, you can just go down through the Frog Speedway. And that's, you know, super easy. This, again, though, all of the hell runs in the, like, at Bubble Mountain, those are all the same 5 E-tank requirements. So if you're going down through the Speedway, or Croc as well, is still 5. All of that is just going to be 5 E-tanks. So with this room here has a bunch of different requirements for it in order to get through. The requirements for this are speed, or bombs to infinite bomb jump, or spring ball, or high jump, or space. So any one of these 5 will get you through. Or in a non-hell run situation, none of these are had, maybe not even morph. But you do have Varia, and you do have ice. This is still in logic to get through here. And the reason why Varia is required is because waiting around and just having your health depleted, it just made everything awful. You freeze this guy and you wall jump up here. This ice requirement is only with Varia. All of the other ones are at anyone's game. So it can be Morphin Bombs, Morphin Spring Ball, High Jump, Space Jump, Speed. Any one of these. Obviously, a Spring Ball Jump is going to get you up there with Morph. An Infinite Bomb Jump is going to get you up there. High Jump is going to just jump you up there. Space Jump is going to get you up there. The only thing that's a little tricky is when you are in a heated room with Speed Booster, sometimes your Speed Echoes don't activate. And you will not be able to get a charge. And that has to do with the way that, like, I don't entirely understand it. It's the way that the health ticking and the sound cues happen. That, like, if a sound cue is happening at the same time that it's, like, that the game is checking for the run input. Like, there, you see? It didn't give it to me. It will override, the sound cue will override the B button, the run button input, and won't give you the charge. And so you won't actually get your blue. So you do need to be careful about that. Okay. So, that gets you into... what am I looking for? Bubble Mountain. So now this is where, logically, there's actually a lot of different branches to the path here. As Canadian Owl is pointing out, jumping ahead of the game here. So... let's just assume that you have Morph for this. You're fine. Now you're in here and you're just doing your hell runs. Everything is like hunky-dory. You're doing all this stuff. Nothing is a problem at all. If you have power bombs, then you can go down through this way. If you have speed, you're down this way in the first place. And, you know, you can use power bombs, or you can go this long way with bombs to get up to the top here. And go through and do all of those. Of course, you can also go around the bottom way, but that is not in logic for hell running. But if you have Varia, you can go around the normal way, which is not in the logic there for that. Because why would you, when you can, in any circumstance, get up this way by jumping with anything, without high jump at all? You just start from inside the save room and run and jump. It can get to all three areas: the reserve, the speed booster, and wave. I want to talk about wave. Wave is an interesting situation. You can get all this way without morph, of course, from one of the portals that I already talked about. So if you are just jumped right to this section in the video because you didn't want to watch the casual portion, go to the end of the casual portion and check out the portals. I'll be reviewing a little bit more of the portals later, but if you want to look at that now, just go and check that out. You can get here all the way without morph. And so here's the thing. You will soft lock if you go down here without morph. You are screwed. You cannot get out of here if you don't have morph. So you need to be very careful and be aware of this. Now, there are sets of items that puts this item over here in logic. Basically, it's not going to put you in an item here that you need without a way to actually escape without morph. So those requirements are space jump. Obviously, you just space jump across, and you have to green gate, blue gate in this case. Grapple, you grapple across, and you blue gate. Every single one of these situations you're blue gating unless you have wave, but wave is not a requirement, so you're more than likely going to need to blue gate with either missiles or supers. So grapple, space, or high jump and speed. High jump and speed, you can jump up from the spikes. And you need to be careful with this. This is the most dangerous method, but it is required by logic. If you got high jump and speed, you fall down here, you take the hit, and you jump up here. And, you know, whatever is in here. Morph can... I've had seeds already where morph is in this spot, and it's really cool. Because it's, you know, really deep in Norfair. You have to come from the Link to the Past portal to get here, etc. But yeah, if you fall, just be aware, if you fall down there in the double chamber, you are stuck without morph. You are stuck. Okay, so now let's talk about if you don't have morph and you're coming this way. So if you don't have morph and you don't have any of those other items that could get you through the top of this upper path of the hell runs to get into Bubble Mountain, and you are down here, and you don't have bombs or power bombs or anything to actually get yourself up this way, so you don't even have morph even, so you can't even use them if you had them, right? You're now in this area. You really only have one option, and your one option is to go to Croc. Basically, that's all you really have to do. You can't even go the opposite way, the natural way, through back to like wave, because there's a morph tunnel there. So if you don't have morph, you can't do that. So your only option is just to go to Croc and do some Croc stuff. Oh, which reminds me, there's actually some Croc logic here that we do need to talk about as well. This is why I'm glad I'm actually playing through and going to these areas and talking about all this stuff, because there is some awesome Croc logic that I do want to make sure that we talk about. Bosses. I don't actually want to fight him, so goodbye. There's a really cool way without power bombs to get to the item below ice. So I showed you when we went up to ice before, I said if you have power bombs, you can go down and get that missile below ice. You don't actually need power bombs to get those. You can charge a spark in this room. You can spark here. Now, you don't even need bombs. You don't even need bombs for this. Check this out. You just morph in bomb, or you don't even need spring ball. You go here, he sees you, hold left, and he can damage boost you up into this platform. And then from here, just run all the way up here, and then you're in the room with the missile up at the top left here. So that's how you can do that. So that's a cool thing. So let's go ahead and back down, though, to some of the croc items. The items down here, going to grapple actually requires some special logic. Or yeah, if you have speed, you can run through it. That works too. I liked showing off that the fun little deboost with the morph. So getting to this item here, obviously there's a lot that you can do to get to it. The minimum requirement is nothing. Let's just go ahead and just turn everything off. You can do a fancy little deboost. Oops. This might take me a couple tries here, but this is going to be the minimum possible requirement here to get to these guys. These items over here. Oops. Basically, you want to run and jump as late as you can. Aim down so that you don't hit the ceiling. There you go. That's what you want. You can get past those slopes and get right up next to the guy. And I personally have trouble doing damage boosts from an aim down sprite. So that's why this one is just particularly tricky for me. It's just a normal damage boost though, so it's not like it's... There we go. You don't even have to get all the way up to that ceiling, but this is what you do, and you just damage boost over here and get whatever item is here. So literally no requirements other than accessing this area to get to this right here. You can do some stupid, freezing these guys, way up at the top here, and, letting him fly over a little bit, and then maybe you don't even need to do that. Well, maybe you do want to let him fly a little bit here, but yeah, you can do this if you don't want to do that. That's another way. But again, that has a requirement on it, whereas there's literally no requirements for that. Okay, here's where things get tricky, and this is where another situation where you can soft lock and you need to be careful. So, whether or not you have morph, but you have speed. That's mainly the thing here. So, obviously you need morph to get whatever item is in here. That's it for that. It's the grapple and parlor items. Let's just go ahead and kill all these guys. Okay, so if you don't have power bombs, not a problem. Short charge, break through these speed blocks. So now you have grapple and the parlor, or the pantry item available to you. So you can just spark straight up here, grab the item. If you don't have high jump to just run and jump across, you can do a fancy little Shinespark from this second wall. Turn to the left and horizontal spark straight across. If you don't have any other way. Just wall jump here, turn left, and horizontal spark right across there. You can go a little higher so you don't bonk. But this is where you need to look out. If you go in this door, those speed blocks come back. If you don't have morph, you might be in trouble. Because you can't morph back through here. So you need to go through the upper way. And the upper way without grapple is a little tricky. So... just keep in mind, if you come into this area and you don't have the requirements to escape the top way that I'm going to talk about in a second, you can still get the pantry item here, but don't go into grapple, because you might not be able to get out, depending on the items that you have. So get this, and then leave while these blocks are still gone from when you've broken them before. Okay, so if you have space jump, gravity, grapple, or high jump and speed, All those other requirements are if you green gated back this way and you don't have morph. If you green gated, you can then come back through the normal way through this way. You can come through the backwards way to get to grapple. If you have grapple, you can also do the you know, normal like grappling across those green guys to get to the pantry missile. But yeah, so it's either going to be gravity to wall jump up here, space jump obviously to space jump across, grapple obviously to grapple across, or high jump and speed. Now high jump and speed is required because high jump is needed to get and speed is needed to get up here. If you don't have anything else, right, of the other requirements, you just gotta trust. Is to get up here. So now from this, you gotta turn off high jump, but keep speed on. That's very important. And you don't even have morph for this, right? So you can't even morph. So basically, let's just go ahead. So you're gonna run. Leaving speed on is important because the way speed booster works is it stunts your jump height. So your jump height is actually lowered a little bit depending, it oscillates, and so it actually lowers it so you hit the ceiling less so you're able to go farther. So that's the first jump. And the second jump, you want to be looking at the water. Again, it's another instance where the water oscillation is important. When it gets to its highest, that's when you want to start running. Jump. Wall jump. The water needs to be low, because if it's so high when you reach here, you're going to be in the water, and you don't have gravity at this point. So when you do that, and you jump and the water's really high, you're going to be in the water. So let's just wait for it to start rising. You're going to be... Oh, I didn't even... There we go. You're going to be... Oops. You're going to be in the water, and you will not be able to jump out. See? So that's why you need to wait for it to be low. Now see, I jumped early, and that's the oscillation I'm talking about. You saw I had a higher jump height, and I hit the ceiling earlier than I normally would have. So I need to jump late. As late as I can. Oops, it's too early. And that was even... I waited too long there. Water came up. There we go. And now you're through. So you need to make sure that if you don't have any of that other stuff, you at least have high jump and speed. And you can get through here without morph. And escape. Get the grapple item and escape without morph. Otherwise, you're going to be soft locked at grapple. So that's a really important one that I wanted to talk about too. We talked about all the hell runs. Okay. I think that's it. I believe that's all the tricks and stuff. And logic, the new logics that were added in. Opening up a lot of things, soft lock potentials that you need to be aware of because of that. And now I want to talk about the portals. Portal logic blew up Meridia, opened up Lower Norfair a little bit more. Let's talk about Meridia. So we already went over the portals. The portals are southwest or southeast of Link's house. The fortune teller leads to the map room connection in the parlor in Super Metroid. You've got the level 2 Death Mountain like center door with the little wooden thing above it. That links to the map station in Business Center. You have the right Meyer shed that links to GT Gold Chorizo energy refill in Lower Norfair, and then you have the Dark World Ice Rod right of Ice Rod Cave in Link to the Past that leads to the Meridian Missile refill in Super Metroid. Now, again, like I mentioned previously, the latter two that I said, the Lower Norfair to Meyer and the Southeast Dark World Cave to Meridia are the big ones for accessing parts of the games with much less item requirements than normal, mainly in Super Metroid. specifically for Meridia. It's huge. Again, it's unfortunate that it... Well, I mean, I guess it's not unfortunate. It's very niche, very rare, not likely to happen at all. But there are some very, very, in my opinion, really, really cool situations that can present themselves item-wise, item placement-wise in the logic because of this. So, the minimum possible requirements that you can have for Super Metroid exiting through this door for progression are morph, always, and either, whoa, don't push me in the door. Are morph, always, and one of high jump or spring ball. That allows progression. So let's go ahead and show that then. We need morph. We don't have that stuff. We don't have this. We're gonna do this. We'll just show spring ball because it's a little bit more difficult because it's requiring all this. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna. It's just spring ball jumps, and it's just gonna make this take longer. So I'm just gonna do it with high jump. So the thing is with this is just gonna take a little bit longer because you can't necessarily jump over the top of them. So you need these guys to. You need to move them. So this is kind of the annoying part. But you need to have these guys fall off, all three of them. Oops. Before you can make it past. Not without gravity. With spring ball, obviously you have a little bit better of a shot. I think it's still kind of difficult without. Oh no! Oh, okay. It's still kind of difficult without gravity to use spring ball to get over them, but you can make it work. So this is the minimum requirements to make any kind of progress in Super Metroid. It's going to be morph always, and either spring ball or high jump will get you here. Now, if you have like grapple and some other stuff, you could actually get all the way to Dragon, like I mentioned before. You know, you could get all the way to Dragon, and maybe without gravity, though, gravity can't be at Dragon Missile or Dragon. That logic might change in the future. Right now, gravity-less Dragon escape is not required in the logic. It doesn't look like it's going to be. So gravity is not going to be at the Missile before Dragon, at Dragon, or Plasma. It can be at Spring Ball. Note, it can be at Spring Ball with those other requirements that I showed earlier. So from here, you're not likely going to be making any progress with just these items. So you actually have a lot of progress, a lot that you can do from here. So I'm going to just verbally state, you can, where the items and stuff will change from now on. So you can you're still from here. You can still spring ball jump. You want to kill these guys when you're spring ball jumping here without high jump, but it works. Trust me. Actually, I'm just gonna have them both on just for speed. So those are gonna. So you can spring ball jump up here, or you can just jump up with high jump, obviously, and you can just navigate through all of this stuff. And your first item that you're gonna get is gonna be Batoon Tank, whatever that is. So you're gonna get that item. Maybe it's just nothing, like you don't care. So you can continue. There's a lot, so much. This is so cool. Like this is one of the coolest things I think that when Total and I were redoing the logic was you can get so much Meridia through this portal. It's ridiculous. So let me just go ahead and like turn all this other stuff off too, because like it's literally all you have. It's just these two items: Morph and High Jump or Morph and Spring Ball, and there's so much of it. You cannot do the snail clip without gravity, so that's not something that you can do. So here's where that other stuff that I was talking about can come into play. So the snail climb can get you up. So actually, okay, this is actually where the logic was now going to branch a couple of different ways. I'm going to kind of just run through it all really quickly, and then I'll show it. So if you're going, you have two options. You're going up or you're going down. If you're going down, you're going into the sand pits. Requirements for sand pits are high jump. You need to have high jump, otherwise you're going to soft lock in the sand if you screw up, and it's just a really, really awful situation. So it's just a hard requirement, high jump always. You know what? This is just gonna take way too long to like show all of this without suitless, so I'm just gonna get there and just explain it as I've been doing this whole entire time. Okay, so you've gotten to this point with just high jump, or spring ball. So now, logic says, if you want to go down, remember, this is coming from the Meridia portal. You have either just Morphin Spring Ball or Morphin High Jump you've gotten here. Logic now says, if you want to go down, you need to have High Jump. So you might already have it from the logic, or you might have Spring Ball. And with Spring Ball, your options are, you can't go down this way. You can, but logically, you don't need to go down this way with just Spring Ball. And I'll, again, revise that. So you have both sand pits. With High Jump, obviously, this is really easy to do. You can just do some wall jumps there. You jump here, and you just jump right out. You grab this item. Easy. All right. Getting this item requires, obviously, gravity or spring ball. And you spring ball jump up to this item. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. It's going to be similar to the way that I did the gravity jump into spring ball earlier. I'm just going to start like this. Pause when I get, you know, close to the water, or close to the sand, I mean. Oops. You can even do it here, it's faster, or it might be a little bit easier to do it out here, a little more in the open. Oops, I did not morph, actually. You're supposed to, I'm a dumb. Okay, so that'll probably work. Let's see. Oh, no, it didn't work. I didn't morph fast enough, so let's go ahead and try that again. For these underwater ones, I think pausing after you've already morphed is probably going to work better. Yeah, there you go. So then you can just shoot this block here. Boom. Again, if you have the requirements, power bombs, grapple, space jump, high jump, you can get to spring ball from here. Spring ball, we've already covered that though, so that's a possibility to continue from here. Or you could go down the other sand pit. I always forget what teleport I want to do. We've already talked about this other sandpit. You could have already... Okay, we already did this other sandpit. So, it's, again, the same thing. High jump is required. To get out of that water, in the logic, it's going to be required to either have spring ball, which is a really tight spring ball jump, or space jump to break that water. Okay. Your other situation, you've gone down, or you go up. So, here's your other situation. So, you've gotten here with just high jump or spring ball. And say you don't have high jump. Maybe you just have spring ball. No gravity. None of this other junk. Oh wait, I gotta turn spring ball off. You're gonna snail climb. Just like I already showed you, but I'm just gonna show you real quick. You want to spring ball jump up on top of this guy because you can't actually make it on top of him without a spring ball jump. So what you do is you just wait for him to come around, and then you stop him right there. And then you do your spring ball jump up on top, and then whatever preferred method of snail climb that you want to do. Without high jump, it obviously takes a lot longer to do this because you're not getting as much height each time. Be careful. You see his head pop out, you jump immediately. Oh, well, crap. Okay, so anyway, you've done that. You get all the way to the top. If you have ice, you can go to Botwoon. I don't know why you would, because that doesn't do you anything, because you just came from that area. So the reason why why you do this and climb up here is because if you have bombs, this is where the logic now changes. If you have bombs, so power bombs or bombs, you can then get through here. And you're now down here. Spring ball jumping still. No high jump. I think. Either this, it's this, or I think now this requires high jump. At this point, high jump is basically a blanket requirement, I believe. Let me just double check that real quick. I don't think you can get up here without spring. Maybe you can. Okay, I think you can do this. Let me see. I didn't, I waited too long. Oops. I bonked. Must have moved left. Didn't realize. Alright, one more try here. Remember crouch jumping is your friend to get just a tiny little bit of extra height. And I think you gotta do one more crouch jump here, or one more springwall jump here. And now without high jump, you can continue. And this is where I showed you getting to Mama Turtle without high jump. That's basically your only option. You can get to Crab Supers too. With some springball jumping. So let's just go ahead and show that. But you can also get to Mama Turtle. And that's where you would do the high jump-less springball jump to get that item that I showed you. So I'm not gonna do that. Because I already showed that. But this is a place where also the logic breaks. If you have high jump, you can go up to let me just show that right now, actually. If you have high jump, and you already have spring ball to get here, that's why you're going here. You're either going to have spring ball or you're going to have high jump, and now the requirement is just high jump and spring ball. Or with, so you're going to need... You could have gone this way with just high jump by doing the snail climb. You're either going to need ice or spring ball to now continue, just for that one jump there. And then the rest of them you can just get through easy. And then again, you already have ice or high jump, so you can go grab that thing and spring ball jump or freeze a fish to get here. If you don't have spring ball or power bombs or bombs, if you just got up here with high jump and ice, you can do... Again, turning off high jump makes it easier. You can do that little thing, wall jump into a morph up here, and then obviously go get Waterway. If you have spring ball and ice but no high jump, I actually I'm sorry, I jumped the gun in the logic here. If you have high jump is not a requirement for this. If you have spring ball and ice or spring ball and high jump, all of this up there becomes logic. You can do all of that, which actually I want to demonstrate. So you don't need high jump to get up here. You can freeze the crab with ice and you spring ball jumps the rest of the way. Between freezing and spring ball jumping, you can get all the way to watering hole. And in watering hole, some of you might not know there is actually some wall jumps that you can do to get out. Or you can spring ball jump. Oops. Please. So you got it all the way here. Boom. Okay. So you got these items. Oh, dude, gravity and Varia. Woo! What a play, man. This is like the God Seed. Okay. So you don't have high jump. You don't have gravity. You've just got spring ball. Two ways you can get out of here. You can spring ball jump or stationary spin jump into just mash the heck out of a single wall jump without high jump. So stationary wall jump right at the peak. Just start holding left or right. And it's literally just mash the heck out of it. And eventually, you will get out of the hole, and you'll be fine. Or, just a line on the wall there. Or, you can do a spring ball jump. So get out of here. The spring ball jump is pretty tight. But there you go. So there's that. So again, up here, logic requirements, minimum, coming from Meridia Portal, is spring ball and ice and morph and some way and bombs or power bombs, obviously, to break those blocks in Aqueduct, or high jump and ice and those other requirements. Okay, so now, if you don't have that stuff, if you don't have ice, but you just have spring ball, this is where it's still narrow. You don't have a whole lot going on for you. You can still do some stuff here. I told you you can get Mama Turtle, and there's some ways you can do that. You can go from either door. That door is really easy. This door, so you can do some jumping here. If you have ice, this will work. I don't actually remember if this spring ball jump works or not. Let me just try real quick. Oops. Oh, come on. I don't think running and doing that is not actually going to be helping anything. Did I turn off morph or something? Like, is that what's happening here? I did. LOL. Okay, let's try again. Let's try again where it's actually going to be working here. Oh yeah, this is not going to work. No way. This does work. Maybe it does, actually. Let's try from here. Okay. So then, yes, this does work. So you can get to crab supers from here. Actually, I'm not sure if we put that in the logic. Ask total real quick. Anyway, yeah, so you can do this, and then the other way you can get to Mama Turtle, if you if you do want to go grab crab supers, which you definitely do, you're then gonna come to this way, and it's a really easy way you can do a down back with a tech I haven't really mentioned, but basically from a falling, if you press down and then back, you can see it just like that. On my controller input. Down and back from a falling state, which means, you know, from here you can't just jump. You can't jump and do it. It just turns you around, as you can see. So that's why you want to be here. You want to morph, and then you fall, unmorph right before you hit the door transition. Hold down through the transition, and then once you're holding down, once you start to move here, press back, and then you'll just down back right onto this platform, and then you come down here, and then you'll do the high jumpless spring ball jump to the item in Mama Turtle. And obviously there's another item in there that you can get easily by just jumping to it, by riding Mama Turtle up. Okay. So that, and then that gets you all the way back, and you can, like, leave Meridia from there if you have, like, bombs or something. Or, power bombs, I mean. Or you can go through the other way, through the Green Gateway, and go out without, if you don't have power bombs, to go through the tube way. So that, just as you can see, literally 3 items, 2 items even gets you, like, through from the Meridia portal, like, through to every single other item in Meridia backwards. It's bonkers. It's so cool. Literally, morph, bomb and or power bomb to go that upper way to get out here, break bomb blocks, and spring ball or high jump, and then high jump and ice, or ice and spring ball will get you up to watering hole and those items. High jump and then spring ball or space will get you the left sand pit. High jump and spring ball will get you the right sand pit. High jump, grapple, space jump, spring ball will get you to spring ball item. Like, it's super crazy. It's super crazy. Now, the last super cool thing. The coolest thing that I am like 99% sure nobody's ever going to see in like hundreds of seeds. I mean, when this goes live and people start doing, and there's like a bunch of people playing this, I'm sure it's going to happen a lot more, and I'd love to hear when it happens. But this is like the hallmark combo situation right now. Again, you're coming. This again. All of this, the last like 20 minutes we've been doing, is coming from the Meridia portal. Okay, coming from the Meridia portal. You're here. You have high jump. You decide to go down the sand pits. Blah 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 blah. All you have is you got morph. You don't have this. You don't have this. You don't have this. I'm gonna show you the coolest thing. You don't have bombs, you don't have power bombs. You do need supers. Oh well, I guess you do. You need bombs for this. This is oh yeah, that's right. You need bombs for this. So you do have bombs, but you don't have power bombs. And this is where this becomes really cool. Your first, I'm showing you where the potential for your first power bombs of the seed can be. Okay? So you've gone through A Link to the Past. You have enough A Link to the Past items, Dark World access, flippers, to get to the portal that takes you to here. Okay? You can go around the top way if you don't want to go through the water, but you can just go through the water. So you have high jump. All you have is high jump and morph and bombs. That's it. Again, showing you where your first power bombs of the seed could potentially be. Okay, so if you fall here, just be careful. Just super the yapping bomb. You do not want to get dragged down. Okay, whatever. It's fine. If you get dragged down, you just run around. Be all slow like I'm about to be. Jump. It's important to jump through that door. Crouch jump here. Some of you guys might already know what I'm getting at here. First potential power bombs of the seed. Oh my god, please. Nintailor spoiled it? It can be all the way at the moat. Now, the reason why this is so cool is because the moat is blocked by a power bomb door. But because of the Meridia portal and because of A Link to the Past and being able to get here with these minimal items, you can get to the moat from behind, from Meridia, with literally high jump, spring ball, not even spring ball, literally high jump and morph and bombs. Like 3 items in Super Metroid, and supers, I guess. Literally is all it takes. And you can get all the way back this way. I mean, it could be anywhere in the wrecked ship, honestly, because you can go in and fight Phantoon. But it could be as far out as the moat. Like, you can get through all of this. Oops. Oh, come on. They are required to get back to Meridia, but you're not soft locking if you go this way, because you can just leave, go through the orange door, and you just go back to the ship. So, like, you're fine. If you don't get power bombs, if you do this and you don't get power bombs here, you're sad because you could have had like a super awesome seed, but you're also not soft locked. Like, it's not a problem. So like, you know, it could be power bombs could be here. They could be anywhere in the wreck ship because you could just go kill Fantoon, or they could be like at the bottom of the ocean. They could be the top of the ocean, or they could be just like way the heck out here at the moat. And so like you're doing this combo siege, you're like, oh man, I'm making this huge play. This is taking me like 5 minutes to get all the way from here. We have never found power bombs though, and we're gonna go through this door, and we're gonna get power bombs. Oh my god! Ah, the plays, and then you just win the rando because you watched Wild Anaconda 69's tutorial. You saw that this is a possibility for where your first power bombs could be, and no, your other player didn't, and they really missed out because my tutorial is awesome. Super comprehensive, has all the facts. Heard it here first. Yeah. So this is like the thing, the coolest thing. The chances of this, so minusculely small. That's redundant. That's how small it is. It's minusculely small. It's redundant. I need to be redundant in order to describe how small the chances are for this to happen. This becomes the meta, just the strat, dude. Oh man. Okay. So that's like the huge, that's like the I'm in my portal section. I just talked about one portal. And that was everything for that one portal affecting Super Metroid. Now, the other portals aren't as big. The only other portal that really affects things, I already talked about it in the previous section, in the normal mode section, is going to be the portal from you have Lore Norfair access. You go through the GT, the Gold Chorizo portal into Mire without lift, any lift, without flute, without book. You can get into desert without lift or book. You can just mirror behind it, get behind the rocks, get into the second part of desert. After you go in the first part, get the big key. You know, you can mirror with one lift upgrade, get Checkerboard Cave. You know, you can get into Mire from here. Required, because like maybe mitts and flute are both in the two items in Mire, possibly. That can happen. Both the required items normally to access Mire could be inside Mire itself in combo. So that's like the coolest thing. You could have your first lift upgrade at Landmo and have your second lift upgrade locked behind a first lift upgrade. So your first lift has to be access to Mire portal from Lore Norfair, mirror behind the rocks, kill Landmo, get glove 1, and then get Titans from like I don't know, Spike Cave, where that's locked behind another, like a lift 1, right? Like so cool. And so, again, another thing I didn't mention with the Meridia portal, really important, you can kill Dragon without ice or speed. So ice or speed in standalone Super Metroid requirements, unless you're going to do like stupid Crystal Flash clips, required items, at least one, completely go out the window for combo. You do not need them. If you have access to the Meridia portal from A Link to the Past, you can get to Dragon, kill her without ice or speed, because you can skip the requirement for those by going behind Batoon. So yeah, that's everything. Let me see. I think that's it. That's all of the changes that are going to be for normal mode. Again, normal mode is going to be the intended mode for tournaments. Again, we can't force tournaments to be in normal mode when version 10 gets released. And then there's going to be a name is a working name, going to be hard mode right now so far for all of these like glitches and stuff in Super Metroid. So that's a wrap for that. Whole lot of stuff, almost, you know, like just over 2.5 hours of tutorial. I hope that this was really helpful for people. Again, my name is WildIndicana69. If you ever have any questions, my Twitch is the same, my Twitter is the same, my Discord is the same name. Very easy to find me, get in contact with me. I am more than willing to give you some of my time. Doesn't matter who you are, just hit me up. If you have questions on anything that was in this video, questions on whether or not things are in logic, questions on how to do more specifics on how to do certain tricks, please, I invite you to hit me up. I am more than willing to give you some of my time to help you go through any of this stuff and give you just like a personal tutorial session. Because I want people to be... I want this to be accessible to people. I want people to be able to jump in, do normal mode, get more comfortable with the game, then want to start breaking the logic in normal mode, which then becomes a standard for hard mode, the difficulty up. And if, you know, people are struggling with that, I don't want them to be deterred. I want you to come to me, and I will definitely help you out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope it was really helpful, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the combo world. Okay, and that's the end of that. So I'm going to get that highlighted. I'm going to get that